Everyone, it's Desiree and we are here with Paper Rose, and we're going to add some color in a different way to our birthday card. The products I'll be using are the Happy Birthday Fine Script layered die and the Balloon Borders die from Paper Rose. So we're going to start with the sentiments. Now the fine script has a cloud that sits behind it, and I'm cutting each of these 3 times. So I want to have a chipboard type piece, especially for the base. I enjoy this sentiment because of its size. It's just a nice size. There are times where I do appreciate a very tiny or a small sentiment. That's usually because, you know, we do a lot of work on the front. So let's put our sentiment on the inside and let's not cover the outside. But a lot of times I do enjoy the size of the sentiment, the large size of that, whether I'm ink blending my background, whether I'm creating a floral around it. The sentiment truly becomes that focal point. We're going to kind of do that for this card as well. I cut the cloud 3 times, like I said. I cut the script, the fine script of the words, once. Really, all of the weight and the dimension is coming from the cloud itself. So I used the border balloons out of this set. There's 2 different dies within this set. And I die cut it from white cardstock, and then I also die cut it from white foam, fun foam. So I'm going to have that dimension that I'm looking for. I love dimension on a card. But we have all of these beautiful balloons sitting there. Instead of coloring them, now you could get different colored cardstocks, cut circles, and add them to these balloons all over. I dug into my stash and found different colors of jute twine. I found the rainbow. As I was gutting this room, a lot of you know that since the end of August, I had gutted out the room and remodeled. It's not for the faint at heart. And I had found these beautiful rainbow colors. I just snipped a small piece from each of them, and I'm going to tie them so that the balloon, oh, sorry for that noise, so that they are the balloon strings coming from my balloons. You can do either or. I just thought it was a lot of fun to get these bright colors coming from the balloons to create a silhouette in the background, basically. You can see that I'm taping them down, and I'm using a strong double-sided tape to do that. I am then, now that I have them all attached, I love that. I think that looks really cool. I'm going to put each string through a needle. I'm going to wrap around the base of the balloon, and then I'm going to pull it underneath on the back end side. So it looks like the string is wrapped around the balloon, if that makes sense. So again, I'm wrapping around a couple times. I'm coming around to the back, going in behind what I've wrapped around and pulling that through. So I'm basically locking that, that string. Couldn't think of that word. Oh my goodness. Once I have those all pulled through, we're going to gather them all together. But first, I'm going to have to get that sentiment in place. I have all of the strings wrapped around the base of the balloons. I'm taking off the release paper and I'm going to put glue around the edges, making sure that I'm putting a dot of glue on the string on the back and going over that whole border because I want that to be flat. This is the size of an A2 standard card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is going to be a landscape card. I'm gathering up all these strings, making sure that I have them basically taut coming down into that knot. I'm going to put a little bit of glue underneath that knot and the tails of the strings, and I'm just going to hold my finger there just for a little bit, and then I get tired of that and put a acrylic block on it. So anything heavy, you want to sit on top of that knot so that it really sets onto your cardstock, your card base. For my sentiment, I'm going to come in with a finger dauber with some Marine Positively ink by Simon Says. I call them clouds that are the backgrounds for the sentiments. So I want to make it look like one. So I want to put that blue around that just to help that be separate from the background. Your entire background here is white. I want to make sure that these really do stand out. I'm going to be using glue and double-sided foam squares to set our sentiment in place. The happy is going to be along the top of the balloons, and then I want the birthday just above that knot. And you can see the strings are coming down behind that. I am going to be adding some gems to our card, and I decided on some black gems to add to the card. Choosing some different sizes and always in an odd number. So we're going to put 5. I chose the black because my sentiment is black. Black is a very bold color and it makes other colors around it pop. I always like, if I've used black as the sentiment, whether I'm stamping it or whether I'm die cutting that sentiment, I will always make sure that I have black somewhere else up onto the card. I do hope you enjoyed today's projects. The products that I used will be listed down below in the video description. I hope you enjoy your day. Enjoy your craft and the art that you are creating. But most of all, remember what's most important. Always be creative. And I'll talk to you in the next one, guys. Till then.